I imagine you get a lot of scripts that read the same. This one must have really just jumped out at you as you read.
Well, this character is amazing. You know, it's always just really fun when you read a woman, you know, a female character that you feel like goes on a great emotional ride and has a lot of layers. And, you know, I play a struggling single mom named Frankie in this film who's a recovering alcoholic and is juggling, you know, her life and carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. And, you know, there was a lot to recognize in her, I mean, in the lives of women that I know. And that's what really drew me in.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know you do a lot of juggling yourself. You have a young son, you're all over the place. I mean, that must have been something that spoke to you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think, well, yes, I think most women can relate. I certainly can. You know, I was a bartender, you know, when I was struggling as an actress. I was a cocktail waitress and a bartender, and I lived in crappy apartments, and I just knew her. I knew her in my heart, and she meant something to me because she really needed something. And I also think it's really important when you're reading a script to feel like you know what this character needs and wants and like where this character's going. And we used to say that Frankie just needs to go to Hawaii for a week, and then I called Chris Pine my Hawaii.
My next question, I talked to him and I asked him the same question I'm going to ask you. I noticed that good actors are good listeners on screen. You have a wonderful moment where he gives you a big piece of news and your reaction is just spot on. You're a great listener. In that, what did he bring to the table to help you with that? What did Chris bring that was...
Well, you know, he really struggled the whole time, as his character Sam would do. He really struggled with how do you say this? Like, how do you admit to a huge lie? And I think, you know, a lot of people carry things around with them. I think we all know from childhood that when you actually come clean, it's a giant relief. But it's really hard to remember that when you don't want to admit something when you're an adult. And, you know, I think he's really, it's a real struggle for him in the movie. And so watching him struggle, and he really did. He really wasn't sure, even as an actor, as a person, the whole thing came together in that moment of having to admit something that's really awful.
So what's next? I mean, you just told me off screen that you're going to Hawaii after you get a break. What's next for you?
Well, I'm going to continue promoting People Like Us, which I love and can't wait for people to see. And then I'm going to take a little break in the summer, and then I'm going to go back to work on Catching Fire, the second series in the Hunger Games movie.
Well, are you surprised at all by how successful that thing has become?
You know, I loved the books. I was a huge fan. I wanted to see the movie, and so I thought, well, if there's about, 30 million people like me, then the movie will be a hit. But I think The Hunger Games speaks to something going on in our culture. I think it's very zeitgeisty and very meaningful to people at this moment in time.